What's up, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the Week 4 Swolecast. The Swolecast featuring names that you don't even need to be reminded of, need to be basically introduced, because when you want to find us, you can find us on top of the leaderboards. That's right. It's the Swolecast Week 4. Peter, how's it going?
It's going good. Please call me Revert Z Top. That is actually the name most people know me by on DraftKings, coming off a really big hit this weekend. Excited to keep it rolling. Think this is a really interesting slate. Stoked to break it down with you guys.
Davis?
Yeah, excited to be here. We have a lot of interesting, prices and pivot points, tournament strategy to attack this week. So I think that we should just get to business. I know that I've seen some criticism of, and I don't know if we should go with the Swolecast anymore. I think maybe that's a little bit juvenile. I think maybe we just title this Week 4 NFL DFS show with Revert Z Top, Mr. Tuttle 05, Davis Mattek, and Socrdave. Get straight to business.
Listen, I know it's a forward-thinking show, but I called the big dog last week. Tuttle with the Cooper Kupp call. Peter with the big hit. Davis on FanDuel, you crushed.
Good week. Good week for the boys. I think we made some really good calls. Made some money Sunday. MLB DFS. It's just we take daily fantasy really seriously here on the Swolecast. So I was grinding MLB. Felt lucky, blessed, and humbled enough to win the big DraftKings MLB tournament on Sunday. So yeah, it was a good slate.
I think the thing is, though, this is a forward-thinking show, and we're not going to dwell on the past. I mean, that's done. That money's in the account. It's done. We're now here to help people win.
Yeah, it's all in money mutual accounts now. slowly building. Nothing flashy.
Yeah, it's a good week when Davis is asking about withdrawal.
Kitchen. Let's
keep
it together. Are we going to get to quarterback?
Sorry.
Let's keep it serious.
Sorry,
man.
Tuttle, how's it going?
I'm just happy to be here. Excited to learn from two of the best in the industry, and Davis and Peter. Excited to learn your game strategy, Kitchen, with the second half showdown slates. Just excited, man. Couldn't ask for a sharper crew.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that,
hang on real quick, Kitchen. I mean, Davis and I did get our shine. You kept your screenshot in the private DMs. Do you want to let people know about your big bink?
Which one was that?
That's the thing with you. It's always hard to pin down.
The second half. It was the second half showdown of the Sunday Night Football game.
Yeah, four-man contest.
It was 5-man, Tuttle. Okay. It was a 5-man, and thanks to Nick Boyle, we finished on top. So, or maybe it was Monday night. It was Monday night. So it was a good week for all of us, and we're going to just go forward in that. Speaking of good week, the Listener League, Josh ADHD, he won the Listener League. So we had it fill up. We had everyone kind of do their thing. Tuttle almost took it down, had a concussion-like symptom right there. But Josh with a 199.4 with Smokey Brown in his lineup, pretty good. Z Coletta had Hamler in his lineup. And then Mr. Tuttle was actually the highest lineup with Cooper Kupp in there.
I'll get a t-shirt.
So you get a t-shirt whenever those pop. And then Rye Charles cashed. He had the Henry Hilton Thielen combo, and he had the 2 Jets combo. So not bad from that crew. I will have the Listener League link in the chat, and also the and also in the comment section. Zach Thilbar says Dave Kitchen is a DFS fish.
That's mean, Zach. That's mean.
Does a DFS fish?
And it's not. It's
is
not
a DFS
true.
fish excluded from $1 and $2 contests on both sites? No. All right. We'll have the Listener League up, though, in a few. Let's talk about quarterbacks, gentlemen. Pete, Where are you this week? The people want to know. They want to ride the hot hand.
I think it's a really interesting week for quarterback, Dave. I mean, the question is, do we go back to Kyler? He's now getting more expensive here at $7,000. Or are we going to go dumpster diving? Are we going to mess around with a little Ryan Fitzpatrick here in a negative game script against the Seahawks? And I also think Deshaun Watson's price is dipped enough here for us to consider him in a potential shootout game with Minnesota. Our friend Pat Thorman sees this as a pace-up spot, and I have to agree with that.
Hey, real quick, Peter.
Yep.
You had a really sick call on Russell Wilson last week. How did you do that?
We break that down.
Yeah, so for me, I'm always trying to find kind of the perfect blend of a high upside play with also relatively low ownership. And now I know throughout the week, Russ became popular, but old me would have gotten scared. He would say, you have to fade that. It's too popular. But I knew that I could just jam in the best plays, get a little unique elsewhere, and take down tournaments. And that's just kind of what I do, Tuttle.
Yeah.
Good strategy.
Davis, what do you like at quarterback this week? I know people are really interested to see where Mattek is heading at the position.
Yeah, so I think, at the quarterback position,
You held it together for a long time.
I think the bit of
okay.
Just so as being like some sort of show that takes itself way too serious.
So I think at the quarterback position. Yeah. So I think at the quarterback position, I actually think we have to start with Patrick Mahomes, right? Coming off of the massive performance on Monday night, against that Baltimore Ravens team. We saw him put up 47 DraftKings points, was spreading the love around, threw a touchdown to Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman, even got the offensive lineman involved. I think
I think one of the toothpaste back in the tube, Davis.
Well, we made it 6 minutes.
That's pretty long. We hit the over.
Definitely hit the over.
We will talk about the overview second.
Something about Peter saying my last name just really got me. I just couldn't handle it.
And also, I couldn't say it. I was just looking at Pete's face, and I couldn't say anything with a straight face. So then he had to take over hosting duty as well, and then it just it went downhill from there.
Giggle gang's back now.
5-digit wins for you both. I'm going to just give you a little piece of advice, and Tuttle can chime in as well, as guys that have won big in the past. Treat yourself.
What are the prize pools like in those fourth quarter showdowns?
Well, don't worry about those. But in past years, treat yourself. I want to take you back to 2015 and maybe 2016. But there was a big hit, and afterwards, someone said, you need to get something that no one can take away from you. And so I did. You know what, though? You know what I did? I bought
my own Dairy Queen.
Ugg slippers. I bought Ugg slippers. That was the purchase. Tuttle, you shipped a big the prime time. It was just
a qualifier too, but I said if Darren Sproles went off, I would let my wife buy a cat.
Yeah.
And now that cat Tuttle pisses everywhere in our house and it's terrible.
Bought a cat, but I will go ahead and even show you. I still have the Ugg slippers, and these are the most comfortable thing in the world.
No one can take it away from you.
That's what I was going to say. Those actually seem like something that would be relatively easy to take away from you.
Or get stinky at least.
No, but you buy the inserts every year. Shout out to Kyle Cannon for telling me this. You buy the inserts for $15 or $20 every year, and then you get free. It's like a brand new pair, not free, but a brand new pair. So I'm going to say this. I want the chat. I want the YouTube comment section to let you know. You pick anything under $100, some suggestions for Davis and Pete, and they have to buy it. They have to pick.
Oh, I didn't sign up for this.
Yes, you did, Davis.
Yep, you agree.
Yes, you did, Davis.
What I actually want the chat
$100, agree to it. Swolecalism, as we talked about.
all right. You got me in because Swolecalism is so clever that I feel like Pete came up with it and DM'd it to you.
No, that I can't take credit for that one, but I would prefer it on Amazon Prime. You sickos. Same. How are we gonna have the chat come to a consensus on what I need to buy, Dave?
This might be something that you announce later on your
if they just throw out a bunch of things, I'll read them, and if anything sounds good,
put them in the comments, links and suggestions of stuff that you'd want us to buy, and we'll do the best ones.
We got a haircut.
Eric says
suggestion for
Davis could buy it.
I just got a haircut. I just got one.
I need to go back for another.
I just got one like 4 days ago. I got like 6 inches cut off.
See, these guys are being nice too. A Visca jersey.
Visca jersey, yeah, done.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking I would try and buy a Billy Hamilton jersey because he had 33 DraftKings points in my team that won, but they don't exist. Like you can't find him. Like he's such a non-entity. Like the jersey doesn't exist.
Probably try to get your big score in NFL next time, Davis. That's kind of what this show is about.
Davis actually got well, you didn't win a GPP. That was still had to win one.
I just got second, and I just beat Ricky D, who is a longtime fan of the show. Ricky D, he tunes in every week to get the best plays, and he's worried that because Pete and I are such crushers now that we're actually going to be kind of closer to the chest with the info. But Ricky, let me tell you this, bud. It's going to be okay. We'll still be here with all the plays, and you can tail us every week.
Hey, guys, I actually want to throw this to Kitchen and Tuttle. Did you guys seem like after my big hit that Davis was kind of overcompensating with screenshots on Sunday to try to take attention away from me? That's kind of how it felt from my perspective.
Yeah. But I don't mind. I'm just writing both of your coattails screenshot season. The real Ricky D did say the Swolecast becoming actually #good at DFS will be bad for their content. Will take themselves too seriously now. Like when Jim Carrey tried to become a serious actor, he was never funny again. So
see, I was thinking if Davis wanted to really try to steal your thunder, he would have just said something about you that not being a solo bank, but that you're actually split that entry fee with somebody else.
That wouldn't be true.
I didn't even know that.
That one wasn't the Leone one?
No, I won $8,000 with the Leone. I won $10,000 on my own.
Wow, I didn't even know you had the Leone one too. What a crusher! Pete's so good, dude.
I didn't even want to bring up that other win here because I want to remain relatable for people, Kitchen.
Yeah, absolutely.
If the chat actually does want to help me, though, I want to buy an iPad Pro, but I don't know anyone who has one. So if you have the iPad Pro, let me know if it's legit.
There's a place in Oregon called Power Max. I know I'm giving away the how the sausage is made, but it's an authorized dealer for Apple products, and then you don't have to pay tax. So it works out. It's where I bought it's where I bought your MacBook that back in the FI days.
Wow.
Anyways. Let's talk about the slate though. Let's move on.
Fine.
Give away the winners. We got to move on. Obviously the Titans and Steelers not going to be on the slate. Now that it has been announced that they are postponing the game. We can't run back with the big dog, but those 2 touchdowns were nice. The highest implied team total this week is going to be the Seahawks at the Dolphins, and then the Rams against the Giants. So I think as far as like the Giants game, it's a 13-point game. Ravens right behind them, 13-point game. Were you shocked at the line here in the Seahawks-Dolphins game? Oh, I guess, Peter, you weren't. Because
you know what? I'm not actually familiar with what the line is. Do you want to tell me the line and then I'll let you know if I'm shocked or not?
It's minus. I thought you did research already with your hand-built lineups. It's -6.5.
Holy shit. Are you kidding me?
That seems about right. What did you think it should be, Kitchen?
You thought it'd be more?
Yeah.
Dolphins are good, bro. Fins up.
Mr. Unlimited. I mean, the guy, I think that's going to have
I literally think that is the market telling you they don't believe that Russ Cook is going to exist when they're up 14 points. Like my thought this week is that a lot of people are going to go back to the Russ double stack, and it makes total sense with a bring back. I think it's actually probably terrible without Parker or grown-ass Gesicki in there, because I think that we are not going to see Russ cooking if they're up 21-3 in the second half.
Think they're just going to go vanilla with it?
I just think we're going to see a lot of Hyde and Travis Homer. Yeah.
No Rashad Penny just yet. Yeah. So thoughts on game stacks, singles of game stacks, Tuttle?
Yeah, I like the Cardinals Panthers. I don't think you mentioned that one. Cardinals didn't really get there last week. They let the Lions pull off the victory and kind of control clock a little bit there. But I like both sides of that game. Panthers have some really cheap guys on both sides. JJ Moore is only 5,800 on DraftKings now. He's going to be a very popular play. Mike Davis is going to be a popular play. He saw monster usage last week. Would assume he gets similar usage again this week, and I think he's still under 6K on DraftKings. I think he's 5.7. So it kind of naturally builds itself with guys that are going to be semi-chalky, but then if you can find unique ways to game stack it, you're fine. Basically what Overzet did last week with the Seahawks stack.
Yeah,
it was chalky game, but he was still able to climb the leaderboards, just differentiating a tiny bit.
Yeah, the highest game total of the week is actually the Browns against the Cowboys.
And let me tell you this, dude. People are not going to be playing Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry. Like, you can say, like, they can be touted on shows all you want. We're like, those guys are not going to be owned.
They're so cheap.
And then the second highest team total has gone up a lot, and that's a game that a lot of people probably haven't had on the radar, and that is the Vikings at the Texans.
That's already gone up 3
points.
You think that's gonna be the chalk game?
Yeah, I think
Watson's so cheap.
Yeah,
Watson Fuller is going to be, my guess would be that'll be the highest cumulative ownership of the week. My thought would be, though, is there's some pretty obvious pivots in that game, like the Gallup play from last week, where all the good players were playing Gallup. I think that you had that with Brandon Cooks, and I think that you, even with the Justin Jefferson explosion last week, my guess is you were like in the SPY or whatever. My guess is Justin Jefferson will be 7% tops.
So is this going to be the fourth straight week that Josh Allen somehow flies under the radar?
I had 150 Josh Allen stacks on FanDuel last week. The problem was not one of his stacks got there.
Tyler Kroft.
Tyler Kroft. Yeah. So I had a bunch of good Josh Allen teams, but had zero binkability because John Brown had zero. Steph Diggs had on FanDuel 7.5 or something like that.
I do think we're in that territory, though. If you're playing a couple lineups that you build with your perfectly manicured hands, like, you need to have one Josh Allen to Diggs stack, especially if John Brown's likely to miss. That's just such a money stack. I'm gonna have one each week.
Yeah, I correct me if I'm wrong, Pete. My guess would be that in the single entry, in the 3-max stuff, in the juke or whatever, you are.
What, dude?
You are far more likely to get ownership discounts on like the 5th most owned quarterback there, because people are just playing the best plays in the SPY or whatever. So like Russell Wilson will be 37% in that versus 25% in like the lottery formats or whatever. And Josh Allen will be 6% instead of 9%, basically.
Yeah, all of those top plays get like an extra 5 to 10 percentage points in the SPY specifically.
This feels like a pretty fun week, though, with stuff spread out, though.
I mean, we haven't even discussed Patrick Mahomes, who, like,
you did discuss him before you started giggling.
Yeah. Well, or by the way, if you ever wanted to be, you ever wanted to get 2% owned Lamar Jackson, this is your week to do it. Yep. He will be outside of the top 10 most owned quarterbacks in whatever format you're playing.
All right. Yeah. I did put in the chat. If you're in the chat, you have the link to the listener league. We'll give qualifiers later. Also, we'll put it in the show notes for the podcast and the YouTube video. Let's go ahead and start. No, not making a lineup. Let's continue to talk about quarterbacks. Any other under the radar quarterbacks that we missed?
I mean, does anyone want to tout Fitz?
Yeah, I'll tout Fitz.
Yeah, every other podcast is touting Fitz, so someone's got to do it.
Fits. And then the other one, Tuttle mentioned that game. Everyone's obviously going to like Arizona, but can we get gross with Teddy Bridgewater?
Oh, that's gross.
I'm off that.
He's cheap.
He's got no like 5 TD games in him though, I think.
You hope it's all yak, but
well, he had the one deep ball to Robbie. He'd have to throw 2 to Robbie, or like the DJ Moore signature like 58-yard catch and run.
I don't think we're gonna have like a chalk quarterback though in cash games this week.
I think it's Cam. I think it's Cam in cash. Tuttle, what do you think about that?
I think he's fine. I don't think he's going to be the ultimate chalk, though. I know the blitz by Cardi's projection system is pumping Watson out there. I think he'll be pretty popular just because of the price tag and the matchup.
Our stuff likes Watson and Breeze. Not. I would not touch Breeze with a 10-foot pole though. Like our stuff hasn't watched Drew Brees play.
The blitz likes Breeze as well. So everything's just gonna be so spread out. It's gonna be a fun week.
There is not a Dallas, Seattle, Dallas, Atlanta. Like there's just not, like, because people hate the Browns. People don't want to play Baker. People don't want to play those guys. People don't want to play Chubb. And then we have these huge giant spreads. We have 30-point team total for Baltimore, 17-point team total for Washington, 30-point team total for the Rams, 17-point team total for the Giants. So there's not a game where it's 58 projected points and a 3-point spread. Except for the Browns, but no one likes them.
I just saw myself in this video. Devin, you made me look like the saturation in this is way too much. Go back to dead me.
The video.
Go back to dead me.
Look now.
Someone said last week in the YouTube comment section that my skin tone color was like dead. Like
Kitchen, you look great, dude. Kitchen, you look great in this. You should have him keep it.
This looks like Kitchen posted a photo on Instagram and put like every filter on it.
Yeah.
No, it's like one of those picture edits from like Facebook in 2013. Like that's exactly what it is.
This is ridiculous. All right. So he's putting the original up. Thank you, whoever said my skin tone looked dead. We'll fix it in the coming weeks. All right, we got to make a lineup on DraftKings. I know you guys did not
on DraftKings.
Davis, please, no. I know you guys didn't write down a name for the lineup, and so I had somebody write down a name for us. This guy won the listener league last week, Josh ADHD, and so I said, "Hey, Josh, since you won the listener league,
this could be literally any player,
and give us some of your wisdom. Just give us one guy to start the lineup
I'm
off
scared.
right."
This could literally be Chris Manhertz.
Can we let the people know who aren't familiar with Josh ADHD's lineups? Like, if you guys are worried about us getting off the Galaxy Brain plays, Josh will always be there. He is king of the Galaxy Brain play in cash, no less.
Yeah. Well, and he has the premium usage tool up. I mean, this guy is like, he kind of is, he's like the NFL version of Ben as far as like GPP. Like he doesn't know what chalk is, and it benefits him a lot of times too, especially in tournaments. He won the 200-person Swolecast league. So here is his take from Josh ADHD, guy that gives us all the Scott Fishbowl tools, the premium usage tools. He wants us to go first off with Hollywood Brown. And you guys already mentioned Lamar Jackson.
I'm in on this take. Yeah. Like I
say we stack them for sure.
I've already lost like a Ford Focus, like a heavily used Ford Focus on Hollywood Brown thus far. So I would
heavily used.
I would like to get even on him.
Kelly Blue Book fair value.
Kelly Blue Book fair value, like $867.
Well, so you want to stack them with Lamar?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
When they go crazy with like the Haskins.
We got it. Which bring back are we using, McLaurin or LT3?
I mean, we might need to start saving some money already.
So let's go Logan Thomas.
Works for me.
Logan Thomas is 5th amongst all tight ends in expected points thus far. He is dead last in fantasy points under expectation. No tight end has done less with their targets than Logan Thomas thus far.
I'm sure getting boat raced by the Ravens will be a real boon for him. There's
Dude,
nothing that could go wrong.
They just got to check. They just got to check down.
All right. So Pete, you go first.
I need Tuttle to tell me like what he thinks his ownership settles in on, but DJ Moore's price at 5,600 is just absolutely dumb stupid. And if he can somehow not get higher than like Allen Robinson did last week, around 20%, it's a total smash.
He'll be higher than 20%. Yeah. He'll be probably 30% range.
And I still think you might have to.
He's still tough to avoid. That price tag is crazy.
The problem is that Silva would not have known how much he cost. Like he would have asked about the ownership, but he'd been like, how much is DJ Moore on DraftKings?
I'm the Silva on this show, guys. You know, that's the role you brought me in to fill.
All right. So Davis.
I would like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, please.
Good play.
He is the best. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the best play at any position at any price all week.
Hey guys, I know that you probably saw the Scott Fishbowl tweet. Still in the top leaderboard, and that's without playing. If I would have played Rex Burkhead instead of leaving in Zach Moss, I think
this is actually banished under the same statute as not being legally allowed to talk about your best ball team.
Wait. First of all, yeah, we're talking about Scott Fishbowl. Second of all, you left in Zach Moss,
who
didn't play.
Is egregious.
Oh, and then you can't take any victory laps on this team when you're not even managing it.
Well, here's the reason why is because last week I did do some managing and I added Gabriel Davis to the team.
You're not allowed to brag about your managing skills when you left Zach Moss in.
A week before he went off. I didn't want to say this. I didn't want to say the Scott Fishbowl thing. That just kind of came up. But I say that because I'm going to put Davis. I don't want to brag about that stuff.
But it came up. You all saw the tweet.
you brought it up.
Gabriel Davis. I'm going to put him in this lineup. I'm just going to assume that John Brown is out.
Oh, wow.
He's 3,200.
No, this is actually Kitchen being intelligent, and you hate to see it.
We all like Gabriel Davis, but I mean, 4 targets last week, and we don't know the John Brown injury report yet.
Correct.
After you just said the thing about flying under the radar, come on, man.
All right.
I love how I mentioned a guy who's like semi-playable, and this year Pete is like, oh, can't do him. After last year, it was just nothing but bits.
Yeah, we've turned over a new leaf here. And the people tune in for me to give out winners, and sometimes we throw Gabriel Davis into a perfectly good-looking lineup, and I worry we're misleading people.
Pete is like kind of like being a victim of his own success here, where he's like, dude, I need to be associated with good lineups. Like, we can't make the bit.
He really is. He's like a coach that has one good season, and then like he can never like go under that season again.
All right. No, I love it. Gabriel Davis.
Tuttle.
Let's jam him in.
All right, Tuttle, we need a running back, a flex, and a defense.
I have a semi-terrible take at running back.
Okay.
If you want to do it. And it's only semi just because this guy it's not going to feel great playing him, but we talk about leverage spots a lot. And we've talked about this quarterback receiving pair going to be one of the higher owned pairs on the slate. David Johnson. 5,600. Really
except that he's
play.
Like the fake sharp play of the week, though. Like, I think he could get to be like 12-14%, though, because
he could, but that's not going to stop us from touting if he smashes. That's what Aaron Jones was 2 weeks ago. Aaron Jones was 15%.
That's fair. I mean, David Johnson is much worse than Aaron Jones, but point taken.
Yes. Very, very worse than Aaron Jones, but it's kind of the same concept. We think there's going to be heavy concentration on Will Fuller. We think Watson's going to be around 10% owned. So give me David Johnson. Why not?
I like it.
All right. So
I don't like it because it just breaks like all my rules, but like he is a good play.
What are your rules? What can we just for a reminder for everyone to get Davis Mattek's 10 Commandments of DFS?
Yeah, once there's been a gif of you running slower than my grandma, you can't be in my lineups. I think that's like rule number 1. So like Larry Fitzgerald, Julio Jones, David Johnson, those guys are out.
Also, I don't care if Duke Johnson is back because I know we'll get those questions.
I only care about that so that the projections make David Johnson a little worse. That's the only reason I want it. That's the only reason I want him to be in.
I think it was in Harditz that had a stat on David Johnson, and then people just started slamming him, and he's like, "No, this is a good stat." I was trying to find it, but I couldn't. But he's in the David Johnson is good.
So
again.
for our flex, I want someone whose name rhymes with Schmonishman Schmaler. I think that his role is exactly what we were all projecting, but the Jets ran more total plays than the Indianapolis Colts last week. I believe the Colts only finished 4 offensive drives for the whole game. Like, it literally was just as bad as Jonathan Taylor could have possibly run. So I keep just the rocket ships.
My only objection is that only leaves us 4,700 for defense.
Yeah, my objection was that we could have just played Kamara.
maybe you can swap off of Gabriel Schmavis if you want to.
Yeah,
you can literally.
Yeah.
You can literally play
some
like
bit
whoever
equity.
you
We're
want
leaving
to.
it Gabriel Davis.
So yeah, you go Alvin Kamara and Cowboys defense, and you can play that in cash.
I do think Jonathan Taylor's like a really.
He's like the most elite, like 11% owned guy ever, because it's not even an attractive game. Like literally just like Colts Bears. Like, who cares? I won't even watch that game.
And Jordan Wilkins iced that game last week too.
Oh,
and so if it's even remotely close, he should be fine.
Okay, forward-thinking show. Let's talk about running backs. We didn't mention a guy who this kind of reminds me of the week 2 situation where Christian Kirk didn't do anything week 1, and yet everyone was kind of on him for week 2 because he was the sacrifice play on week 1. This week it's Kenyon Drake, and that's because of the running back flow chart. Every team that has played the Panthers this year, has crushed at running back. Every running back has crushed. So let's start your thoughts, Davis, on Kenyon Drake this week.
The buy low ground yards model really likes Kenyon Drake. I gotta say, the first thing is he has like way less goal line equity than projection systems are giving him right now. Like most like Cardi stuff and our stuff is giving him like 30 to 40% market share rushing touchdowns just because that's what lead running backs get. But they get down in like the 3 or the 4. It's just all Kyler. Like Kyler is they're doing the RPO stuff. They're rolling him out. Like Kyler is just a way better goal line runner than Kenyon Drake. He's not really playing passing downs. I think he has 6 targets on the year. Edmonds has more targets than him. So it's like Kenyon Drake is really just David Montgomery, but like for a better team. And I know that I'm going to end up playing him a bunch this week, but like, I don't feel good about it. I don't even really think he's a good play.
I was reading our friend Ben Gretch's newsletter that just cleared 1,000 subscribers on Substack. Unlike Jonathan Bales, he knows that he's on the hook for these weekly newsletters.
This is the most amazing moment ever.
And Ben said he had a stat in there that, he has his high value touch metric, which is green zone touches and pass catching. And he and Chase Edmonds have the exact same amount. And that's just like a disaster for Drake.
And I believe he also said there that Edmonds his targets continue to go up, like his touches continue to go up. And so it's trending in the wrong direction for Kenyon Drake. So that's why I wanted to know like where we were, because people are just going to look at those game logs, Davis, the game log surfers, about the people that have played against the Panthers in the past. And if there is I want it
to be known, by the way, I'm team hand build now.
Yeah.
You are. No more. I will not have any more assassination of my character as an opto, bro. Hand build only.
Davis, do you want to give away any, or do you want, while you're at it, do you want to redeem yourself in any other way from last week's show?
I do not. No. I'd like that sordid tale to be left behind.
Okay.
Man, the olden days, Davis would say, if Kenyon Drake is lower than 10%, I'm going to boost him up in the optimizer and also a negative correlation with DJ Moore on the other side in 33% of my line.
Oh, you should do the negative correlation though.
Kenyon Drake could could go off. I mean, that's the thing. He could go off.
He's getting
like
touches.
Every other running back.
You guys want, I'll see into the future right here. So like sentiment like starts to dive on Kenyon Drake this week. And then Ian Hartitz is going to chopper him on Saturday evening. And then the ownership's going to go back up and he's going to be a bad play again.
Hey, let's go team corporate right now. He's got the show with Brett on Thursdays. I think Thursdays or Fridays, the PFF show on RotoGrinders. And he actually gives his finalists for the chopper. To pick the chopper thing. So
I pulled up lineup HQ before the show.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a tease, but he's listed as helicopter plays this week.
Are you serious?
I see it.
That's actually filter,
cool.
Yeah.
I see it on lineup HQ. So
nothing
Smiz
in yet,
is there.
But maybe it's a tease.
Smiz is also there. One of our, I don't want to say competition on YouTube, but the leading YouTube guy.
You know, the one thing you guys got to do though for the interface, because you know how you just have like the little circles next to the conviction plays and stuff. Like you got to get a little chopper. You got to get a chopper.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get the chopper. I'm gonna send it to Nicole, and then we'll put it in there.
It's a chopper.
I like it. Okay. Other running backs. Let's talk about Zeke in that game. Thoughts on Zeke this week, Tuttle?
I mean, the matchup is better for the wide receivers. Not a good matchup for Zeke, but he's getting touches. He's getting targets. I think he's a good play. He's not somebody that I don't think that's going to be fitting optimal lineups just because I think he
doesn't hit optimals anywhere.
But he's a solid play, but I just a little pricey. He's a fine tournament option. But you're not playing him over Kamara, who's only 200 more on DraftKings. And you're not doing that on FanDuel either. People will say, well, Zeke's got better touchdown equity. No, you're just not fading Kamara on the spot.
I know he's like Drew Brees' Michael Thomas now. Like that's the only guy he was.
He had 13 freaking catches in that game, dude.
If you faded Kamara in the captain spot on Sunday night, you were
really going out on a limb there, Dave.
Well, I'm just saying you were tilting hard.
What did our showdown thought leader do?
I did have like 50% Kamara in the captain.
But also, built by hand. I
just want people to know, Leone can verify this because with 8 minutes left, I was tied for first for 7,000 in that exact same $3.20 max contest. If I just would have had Robert Tonyan instead of Lazard for that last touchdown, I mean, vice versa. The showdown leader could have kept it running.
I had the winning team, but I had Lazard in the captain and Kamara in the flex instead of the other way around.
Kitchen said.
All right. Other running backs that we like this week, Peter.
Yeah. I mean, we mentioned Mike Davis. I still think this is a thing now that we've seen his role. Like he literally is just the Christian McCaffrey role.
McCaffrey.
So just like at 5,700, that's a smash. Let's see here. A guy that I would never otherwise play that like falls into that Kenyon Drake territory for me. He's running more routes now out of the backfield, which was my concern.
Oh no.
Joe Mixon. I'm going to say it.
Okay. I thought you were going to tout Jacobs.
No, but Joe Mixon at 5,800 versus Jacksonville. Can I get Tuttle? You got a little love for Mixon?
Yeah, I can get behind that.
I will just go away and give away some of the secret sauce for those that have not signed up for Lineup HQ. He is a core play right now for Noto.
Got the Noto stamp. Yeah.
Yep. So
Mixon or Mike Davis? Who do you take?
Mike Davis.
Yeah. Same here.
Better game.
Did Mixon? I didn't pretend to watch much of that game last week. Did Mixon get in the 2-minute drill, or is he still not being
at
able
all?
to? Man, it's just so tough. It's really tough to play him, knowing that if they get into any sort of passing situation, he's not going to be in there.
That's why I think the Jacksonville opponent is going to be kind to him.
He did get 1 2-minute drive. He got in the Thursday night game, the 61 pass attempt game. He played the 2-minute drill at the end of the first half. That's the only time he's been in on that.
I don't even know he did that.
He did.
And
I'm telling you he did.
Well, I'm telling you, I was in that second quarter flash trap.
Okay. All right.
And I'm not sure he did.
Davis's numbers lie. Kitchen was in the contest, therefore.
I just don't know who he was in. He might have been. There might have been like two separate second quarter.
All right, I have. I'll substitute Tuttle's terrible take. I have my own terrible take for this show, and it is. I am assuming personally that Chris Carson is not going to be back until week 7 for the Seattle Seahawks. I think that Travis Homer is the much better DFS play between Hyde and Homer. Homer is the minimum salary on DraftKings for running backs, which is $4,000. And I think Travis Homer, if you're looking for a way to get weird at running back, which I don't necessarily know if you should be in general, but Homer I think could be the pass catcher there.
If I told you for a fact that the Seahawks would have like a 10+ point lead for the entire game, would you still say Homer is the better play over Hyde?
Yeah, I mean, if you remember, first of all, Homer came in when Chris Carson got hurt in that game. Like they went to Homer immediately, like the snap after he got hurt instead of Carlos Hyde. And also, Travis Homer started a playoff game for the Seattle Seahawks. I think people forget that. They like him. He's like a guy that like the overall is like a part of the fabric of that organization.
Man,
I don't know if that's true at all.
Running back this week, like it's tough. You got Myles Gaskin at like he's another guy that you look at in showdown contests or whatever as someone that we have gotten an extensive look at. It's like you've got other good running backs there, or what we thought were good running backs there. I'm not disparaging anyone that you guys know, but he's getting the ball no matter what. He's like the all-purpose back there in Miami. And on FanDuel, he's 5,400.
I just want to pass along a comment from Poppy Chulo. These guys' takes are terrible. Do they like lighting money on fire? Oh, he must just be tuning in.
New listener to the show.
Oh, if only he knew our resume and track record.
If only.
You need to have those screenshots. Just, you know how people used to have the checks in the background? Just like screenshots of your big win in the background.
I think I might have one of those checks. Not too far away, but.
Okay, last person I'm going to bring up, and then we'll move on. David Montgomery. I know we don't want to bring him up, but Tariq Cohen out with the ACL injury. Where are we on David Montgomery against the Colts this week? Tuttle.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to see an increased role in the passing game. I think he's fine. Like you said, the running back.
This offense might be clicking even more as far as like the.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Does anyone have the take? I would like to get a group survey here. I think, and the options are David Montgomery like becomes an actual bell cow, or Cordarrelle Patterson is Tariq Cohen. Which of those do you think is more likely?
The latter.
I would say bell cow.
Talk dirty to me.
Yeah, I kind of think bell cow.
I mean, if that's more likely, David Montgomery is actually a great play this week.
Yeah. But it's like who are you going to play him over in that range?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's so many running backs this week.
I mean, if you think that
we need Davis's optimizer roles. It was like
that's not how it works. Just uses the inputs you give it, Dave.
No, you set your max. Like you set your max on these guys.
Like max exposure?
Yeah, like you set your max to like 15%.
I would not play more. Yeah, I would not play more than 15%. David Montgomery in 150.
There we go.
There we go. He's back. Opto bro back, showing his true colors.
Yeah.
I mean, I just do.
Max 15%.
I just do.
Make sure
you
play a running back in 85% of the flex spots in your 150.
I'm limitless, bro. I do both.
Unlimited. All right. Wide receiver. Start with you, Pete.
Well, yeah, I already, gold star, lock of the week, DJ Moore. I do think even though we couldn't fit him into our DK lineup, I still love Terry McLaurin a lot. And I know we mentioned it earlier of being the popular game, but man, Brandon Cooks at 4,500.
Unowned.
What did you say, Davis?
He will not be owned.
You don't think Brandon Cooks will be owned?
He gets the he's dust bias. Like, so many people have been like, LMFAO, Brandon Cooks is terrible on Twitter. Like, people don't think of him as good anymore.
All right, I'm playing Brandon Cooks then. Done. It's done.
Tuttle, thoughts on running backs?
Gonna do receivers
or receivers? Sorry, I just wanted to make sure Davis did not get a word in because he loves to butt in on the debates. So,
well, Davis mentioned people not wanting to play Cleveland wide receivers, but the matchups there, they're cheap. You just got to hope they're going to be playing from behind, because if they're not, they're just going to run the ball a crap ton. But Odell would be the choice of the two. 5,800 on DraftKings. I think 6,800 on FanDuel, something like that.
Yeah, he's egregious price on FanDuel.
Yeah. I mean, he's just a really good play.
Tuttle, what is your thought on like Landry? Because we haven't I know he was banged up a little, but we haven't seen his target totals like back up to what he was doing last year. Like, is he going to ever clear 4 or 5 targets again?
See, right. I mean, that's why I'd just rather side with Odell.
Yeah.
Because the target, I mean, it's not like Odell's seeing a ton of targets, but he does have the higher target share. Again, it's just an offense that doesn't pass the ball.
They've only thrown 78 passes through 3 games.
Right.
Like, Joe Burrow had 61 in 1 game.
Yeah, which is why you don't want to play them if you think that they're going to randomly lead this game. But I mean, if you think they're playing from behind, you can play either of those guys. But I think Odell is clearly the better option. I think you'll hear people kind of tout Jarvis Landry, though, just because he's got the better individual matchup in the slot. I think you'll hear that a lot. That it could be a week for Jarvis, but
that's like the most tilting thing in fantasy analysis to me is when people are like the funnel to this, like people have taken it now from Cooper like pass funnel, run funnel, but now they're like the slot funnel. And I'm just like, oh, it just tilts the stars out of me, dude. I can't do it.
Well, the funny thing, last week, not that many people wanted to play Tyler Boyd, similar slot wide receiver, but he's actually been getting a decent amount of targets because they're throwing it, 60 times a game. Whereas Jarvis Landry, yeah, he's a little cheaper, but the volume just hasn't been there to get one of those huge PPR days.
Well, also people are bad and think that AJ Green is not a million years old. Like, that was like a common thing to tweet last week, was like, don't forget about AJ Green, leads the NFL in air yards. Like, terrible.
All right. Do defensive backs matter? Because you've got Hayward for the Chargers. Is he going to shadow Mike Evans?
Yeah, here's the funnel.
I don't even know if he actually does shadow guys or if he's a one side guy.
He has in the past. So week 2 he shadowed Sammy Watkins. He's and like big wide receivers, according to Matt Friedman, he has in the past. So without Godwin this week, does he shadow Mike Evans?
Does being shadowed mattered if your only work is going to be 1 yard ball screens at the goal line?
Kitchen's trying to get at Tyler Johnson. Terrible take.
Well, no, I was going to say, what if they go full big brain, put him on Scotty Miller, 0 Scotty Miller targets, and they just have to go one-on-one Mike Evans on the sideline for the whole game?
There's not a brain big enough for that day.
Hey, Kitchen, guess what our friends at Pro Football Focus have for Casey Hayward Jr.'s coverage grade this year?
Oh, no, Kitchen getting roasted. I love it.
What is it?
82nd out of 103 cornerbacks.
What?
Yeah.
That can't be right.
This is like when we told Kitchen that Darius Slay was bad.
I had the same thought earlier.
Wasn't he the top cornerback last year? Based off of PFF grades?
Let me see last year. I think he tailed off last year to 83 in coverage last year. So it could definitely just be a small sample thing, but yeah.
You're looking up the wrong thing. Look up good stats. Look up the good stats about Casey Hayward.
That backs up your take.
Anchor down. All right. Other wide receivers that you guys like this week?
Tell me if oh, go ahead, Davis.
Go ahead, Pete.
I was just going to say, I can't quit Darius Slayton. I'm just going to keep chasing him. 5,000. I know. Daniel Jones has sucked. He's without Sterling Shepard. He's getting from our friend Ben Gretsch. He has 22 targets over the past 3 games, 34% of the air yards market share. He is the big play wide receiver. in this offense. So if he's going to be low owned and he's cheap,
well,
got to target Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, I mean, here's your individual matchups. I was going to say Jalen Ramsey. This is like the slot target that you would want would be this game with Golden Tate. If you think matchups matter,
what if I told you I don't?
Then keep touting Darius Slayton.
Oh man. Okay. Any Patriots wide receivers that you guys like? Because a lot of them are popping in the optimals.
I mean, Harry, right? He was dinged up last week, but was able to get through the game. I actually think that he is going to end up the year with like 120 targets or something, and he's going to be like 4,500 on DraftKings the whole time and end up being a great play like 8 of the 16 weeks that the Patriots play. And they didn't need to throw last week. They just didn't need him.
Tutskis?
What are you asking me?
Patriots wide receivers, bro.
I mean, is it the Damiere Byrd week?
Is it?
He's cheap.
Is this little preview of a terrible take here?
So if I can get my hand on the dirt or in the dirt with Damiere Byrd, I think that Byrd is mostly the win sprinter in that offense.
He is, for sure.
And the reason why we saw so much of him in that Seattle game is that he actually specifically is just such a good matchup against, because Seattle just has those big cornerbacks that can't turn. And the one skill that
hand in the dirt take.
Well, the one skill that Byrd has that's like above average as an NFL wide receiver is his ability to turn. Like, he's super agile, and all of his catches were like button hooks and slant routes where he got inside the cornerback.
Since when do you know about the hip swivel of the Seattle defensive backs?
Man, this is so good.
Dude, I watch every.
You went from not knowing any defensive back's name to now knowing the defensive hip swivel tendencies of said defensive backs.
Dude, I mean, when you just start getting high stakes fantasy football will change you. That's all I will say.
Wait, are you grinding the all 22 rewinds? Is that what's going on?
I watch them all every week.
Wow. You're a real fantasy analyst, man.
It's disgusting. I'll promise you this. I'll never start a newsletter.
You can't throw newsletter stones from Patreon houses, Davis.
I mean, I'm very happy, but I would just much rather do a podcast than a newsletter. It would just make my head hurt.
All right, let's build a lineup on FanDuel. Home of the Big Bink from Davis Mattek. Davis, since you had the Big Bink last week, you get to go first this week.
So I just wanted to make this one point. Everyone every week tweets about like, oh, FanDuel salaries are egregious. And like, they're not great, but I actually, like, I had trouble loading up FanDuel this week, loading up and being like, oh, this is the obvious cash team. So maybe that makes me a donkey, but I just wanted to make that note. I would like to start with Clyde Edwards-Helaire though.
You're just picking the same guy on both sites?
Yeah.
I just want it to be known. I want it out there that he is the best play of the week at any salary, any position.
All right.
So someone else
Tuttle?
would go now?
Let us go with.
This is why we write down the picks.
We'll do Odell.
All right.
So are we playing Dak?
I was just about to jam Zeke.
Feed Zeke, baby.
Yeah. Let's do Zeke on FanDuel.
On FanDuel.
You have money to spend over here. You can play whoever you want on FanDuel. It's like there's not even a salary cap.
Tight end, man. Last week, the chalky tight end went down early.
He fractured his ankle.
Tough scenes, man. All right. Is Zeke your pick?
Yeah. So we got
I'm going to go
Helaire, Zeke, and Odell.
All right. I'm going to go with Tyler Higbee.
Wow.
Got to go with the guy who's running less and less routes every week.
Gotta go with that guy. What was it? 14 routes last week, I think.
Oh,
he didn't need to run any routes.
Kitchen only made it through a couple
16.
of the games in Gretch's newsletter.
Kitchen only command apps for guys on his Scott Fishbowl team.
We'll give you a repick if you want, Kitchen.
No,
or is he going to anchor down?
I don't actually think that this is that terrible of a pick.
He's only 6K. That's why I thought
it's not a very good pick.
Well, we can't go Kelsey. We already went Thomas in the other one. So the only other pick would be either Hawkinson or Waller. Jonu's not on this slate.
Why do we refuse to mention Andrew's name?
Because Kitchen is going through. There's this very
easy touchdown.
Evan Ingram is a better play than Tyler Higbee for 4.
There's just a very specific Mark Andrews rage that you get watching him have a bad game. I get it, Kitchen.
Oh, man, that drop touchdown he had.
That was disgusting.
You guys, wind is a lie.
Yeah, the Cubs are.
I don't think we have enough.
I'm so tilted.
I don't think we have enough money. All right, well, let's come back to. I'll just go with Allen Robinson as my pick. We'll come back to tight end.
I can't get FanDuel to load.
Who did you? Who did you go with your tight end?
I didn't go with a tight end. I just went with Allen Robinson. Okay. Davis, just use your optimizer, bro.
Oh, good idea. I will.
So we've got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Zeke, Beckham, Robinson. We'll skip Davis until he gets that loaded, and we'll go.
It's up. I got it.
Okay, Davis.
He's back.
I'm never that far away from my optimizer. Like it's like 2 clicks max. So we got it loaded. I will go ahead and select our tight end, and I'm going to take Dalton Schultz, 4,900.
Let's do it.
CeeDee Lamb banged up, hurt his ankle on that punt return. Played 70% of the snaps since Blake Jarwin went out. 20 targets through 3 games. Dalton Schultz, baby.
I'm sure this is old news because I'm not a reg on FanDuel, but Taysom Hill is a tight end on FanDuel. Yeah. What the hell?
They list him as a running back in Showdown on DraftKings.
It's wild. Is it back to me, Kitchen?
Yeah.
I said I was gonna play this guy. It's time to put my money where my mouth is. Brandon Cooks.
Ooh,
a lot of different ways we can go for a stack here.
Trying to keep our optionality open, fellas.
Optionality is key when building your lineups 96 hours before lock.
We will not switch from this lineup.
A lot of late swaps here.
Are there no runs going to be scored in these baseball games today?
I'm so tilted right now.
Just faded every starting pitcher in every Showdown slate.
Hey guys, I got an idea. Why don't you be focused on the show at hand so that people listening on Saturday are not being like, why are they talking about wind is alive baseball? All right, we have Zeke and Schultz bringing it back with Beckham. So does that mean we want to go Dak at quarterback?
Real man uses Baker Mayfield on FanDuel.
No, let's go with Dak.
Yeah. I mean, one of these games, Dak isn't going to throw for 480 yards.
And then we have like a flex if you play like some mid 4K defense. I know that Pete really likes Slayton this week, but if you go like Rams defense, 6,800. So somewhere in the 65 to 7K range.
If you use the Seattle Creehawks, you can get in.
No, this is FanDuel.
Taylor.
This is FanDuel.
Oh, all goes on FanDuel. Seattle Seahawks, Jonathan Taylor.
I like the bit better. Kitchen running the bit. You hate to see it.
Sorry, you guys don't know about it.
Wow, did we actually get through the whole agenda today? I feel like that never happens.
No, we still haven't covered tight end. Man, if you go Rams, you could have Mixon as your tight end. That's what I'm going to do.
As your tight end? Or they give him tight end eligibility?
Or no, as your flex. As your flex, Pete. All right. Tight end.
Nice lineup, guys.
Nice lineup.
Use
Everyone
that in
do your
cash.
own 2v2s.
Use that in your single entry tournaments.
All right.
Maybe you should win some money for a change. Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
Since Tuttle and Davis are inundated with the the baseball game. Let's go with you, Pete. Tight end. Who are some of the top tight ends you like this week other than Logan Thomas?
Yeah, I do like going back to Mark Andrews. His usage is elite. He dropped that touchdown. What? I can't talk. Lamar threw for less than 100 yards. I mean, both
like
him
96 yards. Yeah.
Yeah. So tight end, the landscape is super gross now. And I think Mark Andrews has that ceiling at tight end that we want if we're not just truly punting it off, which obviously you can do. But Mark Andrews is still that guy for me if I'm going to pay up.
Okay.
You think that you'd rather pay up for Andrews than Kelsey? I gotta humbly disagree with you there.
All right, let's heads up for rolls. I play Mark Andrews. You play Travis Kelce.
I'll play Travis Kelce on FanDuel.
Yeah, I mean Kelce is 6,800. So that's $800 more. So that's getting pricey in this economy. But yeah, I like both of them. I just feel like no one's going to want to play Mark Andrews this week, and he's a very good play.
I mean, you're just 100% right. I mean, this will probably be the lowest main slate ownership Mark Andrews gets for the entire season.
All right. No Ruggs this week. No Edwards this week for the Raiders. Darren Waller, is it against the Bills too bad of a spot, or do you want to go last week against the Patriots? He hardly got targeted.
Bills homers will say they got these two interior defenders back, Milano and Edwards, and they're going to be like, those guys will lock down the interior. My thought would be Waller is awesome, and how many times have we seen Bill Belichick? When you have one good offensive player, he just stops that one good offensive player from doing stuff.
What'd you see in the All-22? Was he getting doubled, Davis?
I have not watched that game yet, to be 100.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Slacking.
I got money that says that Davis does not watch that game. If it's Wednesday afternoon, I don't think he'll be watching.
The All-22 doesn't even come out until Wednesday morning.
Thought you were a true grinder. You'd squeeze those all in before your big show for the week.
All right. Tuttle, you back with us? You're so mad. You're so mad right now.
If you want a truly terrible take, this is the position I have it at.
Let's do it.
Okay.
It's truly terrible.
Sir.
Rob Gronkowski.
Oh. Was not expecting
That's pretty terrible.
It's bad.
Do you guys remember when we used to joke about him being a tackle?
Yeah, Kitchen's trying to find one of these off-brand receivers that the Bucs have to smash while Mike Evans gets shadowed by Casey Hayward.
No, my question was can you target Mike Evans as the guy like he was when he had 10 targets in week 2?
Though. I'm just going to take Rob Gronkowski, who had 7 targets last week. He's up to 64% of the snaps. He ran a route on dropbacks. OJ Howard only ran a route on 31% of the dropbacks last week. He's trending in the wrong direction. Gronkowski trending right direction. Rob Gronkowski. Okay. Truly terrible take of the week.
All right. I'm just saying last week or week 2, I think he only had 1 target against Carolina. That was when everyone just
first
told
2
him
weeks,
to drop
complete dust. But he's
just playing his way back into shape.
Yeah,
dude.
he's just there you go. There's the narrative.
I might join you on this take.
You converted him, dude.
Yeah, he's cheap.
Gronk at 3.6.
He's cheap. Tight end sucks this week. He's cheap.
Unless JJ Zachariason, he's the big-bodied receiver that Casey Hayward shadows, leaving Mike Evans open.
So we've now floated theories where Casey Hayward shadows Mike Evans, Scotty Miller, and Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah, there. All right.
Even JJ Zachariason would play Rob Gronkowski for 3,600, and he hates Rob Gronkowski.
You mentioned Evan Ingram. Talking about guys like he and Hunter Henry, they just have, especially Evan Ingram, he has been a big sack of disappointment this year.
The Bills don't let up a whole lot of, or not the Bills, the Rams don't let up a whole lot of yardage to the tight end, but we saw Tyler Kroft score 2 touchdowns. We saw Lee Smith catch a touchdown. So yeah, I mean, I think Ingram's actually a pretty good play on FanDuel.
FanDuel.
All right. Let's move on to terrible takes. Tuttle, is your terrible take officially Gronkowski?
It is, and he's my prop for the week.
You guys,
you are wrong.
You guys got to get that in the opto.
Tuttle, my guess, I thought Damiere Byrd was going to be your terrible take.
That's why you lit up so much when I started talking.
Yeah,
about
I was trying to kind of just coach.
Yeah, we were trying to. I almost led you to that, but I didn't want to go too far. So
OJ Howard's
lead a fish
cheaper
to water, but you can't make him drink.
We got a OJ Howard's cheaper in the chat. He also ran 13 routes last week. That's not what you want. Yeah, I mean he might break one, but you typically don't want the guy that's running significantly less routes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, closing thoughts. I'm not going to talk about defense. We don't need to talk about defense.
I think that this week is probably going to be pretty unique over the course of the next 17 weeks where we're playing, where there's not one obvious spot, I guess, other than Mike Davis and DJ Moore, where you're just going to see ownership really coalesce, where one game stack is going to be a part of so many people's rosters. So I think that if you have a read, my thing this week is I'm just going to be very heavy on Chiefs players, Mahomes, Elaire, Tyreek, Hardman, Kelsey, and then also the Browns wide receivers as well. Just if you have a read, just do not sweat ownership, because the chances of your roster being super chalky are just really unlikely. Unless you're I'm going to play Kyler, Hopkins, and DJ Moore.
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll win $10,000 while doing it.
We did not do the qualifiers for the listener league. So we got to do that really quick.
Gronkowski.
So Gronkowski is going to be Tuttle's.
Mm-hmm.
Pete.
All right. I just thought of a good one. So it's the Birds lineup. You must play 4 players total from teams with a bird mascot and or Damiere Byrd.
Ooh. Okay, so the Bird's the word. Let's go with Davis.
I will go high scoring roster that doesn't have a Carolina Panther on it.
What?
Is that not a good one? Okay. All right. Highest scoring Chiefs double stack. Has to have Mahomes with at least 2 Chiefs skill position players.
Highest scoring Chiefs double stack.
Can the people get a update on the fulfillment pipeline for these shirts?
Yeah, they're coming.
Yeah.
We'll have
they're in the mail.
They're coming.
We had a meeting last week. We're getting them. I will tweet out from the Swolecast Twitter account what these will look like, and then we'll start fulfilling them. Also, if you've won one, you just have to include just email swolecast@gmail.com, and we'll get you taken care of, or DM us on Twitter.
Are we going to get preview samples of these shirts to showcase?
I will, and Tuttle will, since Tuttle last week won was the highest.
Go.
Do I get a shirt for correctly filling out my work log this month?
No.
Yes, every company where you get apparel prizes for filling out your time card.
I really need to be motivated to do that.
All right, I'm going to go with a little bit something different. Yeah, it has to be a game stack for this Indy at Chicago game. So that means,
why are you trying to make people not have fun?
At least 3 players. It could be whatever you want. At least 3 players, 2 from one team, 1 from the other. So a game stack with 3. I mean, this could be a good way for people to earn a shirt. 200 people. It's filled early. So make sure you're checking that link.
Yeah, filled really early.
Filled early. Filled Sunday morning. And the other one, it's becoming more and more popular.
Can we hold DraftKings feet to the fire? They cap us at 200 people. We need to make it bigger, and we need it rake free. What do we need to do to make this happen? Do you want me to drive down to the DraftKings offices and start pounding on their door?
Listen, listen, it might be time for a big rake free on FanDuel Listener League. Low leverage.
Do they even I don't even know, do they even have the capabilities of doing that? Like if you contacted FanDuel with that idea, would you just blow their mind?
Yeah, we got the RotoGrinders single entry series.
Oh, when's that coming back? Single entry Pete might have to hit that up.
Yeah, we've got today is International Podcast Day. So I know all of you guys are like me and like, wow, what should I do for International Podcast Day? Well, go leave us a 5-star rating and review. I want to shout out Seabass from SoCal because he said great guys and gave us a 5-star review last week. So there you go. That will do it for the show. Everyone has said their piece. Pete, you want to give anything else to the people?
No, this is a show hosted by winners that gives out winners, and we appreciate you guys tuning in every week.
Yeah, leave a comment of your terrible take. We haven't had any terrible takes in the comment section that has really gone off yet. We need one this week. So do that. Hit the button, subscribe button.
They did get Devin to make you look like a Facebook picture from 2011. So technically,
yeah, if you're the guy who said my skin looked dead, then let us know. We'll send
go off, King.
Yeah. That will do it. We'll see you next week on the Swolecast here
on FanDuel.